everybody, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations with Chaos Counseling. Who the hell, how are they connected, child? We should probably show them.
Hey, Edgeworth? Did you know that Iris had a twin sister?
What? A twin? You can't be serious.
That's bullshit.
Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is, she didn't know the name of this twin.
There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked.
Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father. A jeweler, I think.
A jeweler? Right, I might just know who this twin sister of hers is.
Really? And you're the only one who knows this?
Let me feel important, right?
What are you implying, Wright?
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Explain yourself, Wright.
Let me guess.
Right.
Right. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right?
Shit, how'd you know?
Yes, exactly.
Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please.
I love Dahlia's theme.
I love it too. I love Dolly as a villain.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
It was my first court case 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died.
You're talking about Terry Falls, right?
You know about that case?
You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm not a dumbass.
I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago.
Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking.
That bitch was fucked up.
Her sister?
Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife.
Oh. And this is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out?
There is no need. Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case.
Why are you so sure about that?
It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead.
What?
Well, her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak.
And what are you implying by that?
She gave up the ghost.
She's bequeathed of life. She has gone to meet her maker. She shuffled off for mortal coil. She has ceased to be. This
what
is
do you
an
mean
ex-person.
by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth?
I only just discovered this, right, but I never knew about the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty.
So satisfying.
Thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey.
That's all.
Mia Fey! Mia Fey!
At the time, Dahlia... It's like she was possessed by a demon or something.
It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month.
Executed?
I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, Wright. And for more reasons than one. Do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected to this case. She's dead, and once someone is dead, there is no way to revive them.
Have you been living in the same game universe as the rest of us?
What are you implying?
There's no way to revive the dead? I wonder.
Nick, have you been living in the same game universe as everyone else?
It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth.
And what is that?
It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother.
What's their mother got to do with any of this?
Well, you see, when a woman and a man...
She's Morgan Fay, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Crane channeling technique.
Did you say Karain channeling technique?
No, I said Quran.
What?
Do you know something about it?
Is it pronounced Quran?
No, I'm being facetious.
Okay, I was like a little worried there. Oh, yes, I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium.
Fraudulent?
I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago.
If you remember.
I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. But you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent.
No, even though it's like, dude, calm down. I'm a little more forgiving of him freaking out like this.
Edgeworth.
Go to the police records room. It's all in there.
Well, it was before.
All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know.
Of course. How could I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday.
What?
And then you'll see that the Crane channeling technique is real.
I love how Nick has just become like this, like, prophet
Advocate.
of the Korean channeling
Yep.
technique. Is just going around. Spirit mediums are real.
They're
The end is nigh.
Bring out your dead!
I feel at ease.
Happy.
Done.
Dun 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 dun.
Night of the Quime.
Quime.
I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth?
Yes, that's where I was.
Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too, but I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course.
Sister Bikini.
Her testimony in court today was very clear. The night I was helping an acolyte with a training in the inner temple, but... As you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the Inner Temple on the night of the murder.
That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The Acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early so I wouldn't be late.
What time was that?
Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the Inner Temple. So I would have left at about 9:40 p.m., I think.
I'm sorry, Iris, but line just doesn't suit you.
Huh?
Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., With this. Add up with this. You yourself testified to the contrary. Don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have.
Who's that?
Chuck Norris.
Me.
Mr. Wright.
We even spoke a little that evening. And that's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten.
No, that's right. I remember.
And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I've managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the Inner Temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. Which means there must have been 2 of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris.
But that's crazy! How could that be? There's only one of me! It's impossible!
Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise.
You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence! Show me something that proves there is more than one of me!
I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne. A woman I know only too well.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer...
Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? The second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder. It was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne.
But you just said it yourself a second ago! My sister is dead! Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo. A training ground of the Korean channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's a secret you've been trying to hide from me.
Now, if this was 999, we could move on to the next chapter.
Eh.
I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the Inner Temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month.
Good riddance.
Just as I suspected. The Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the Inner Temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about?
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It twisted her entire destiny. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life.
And it was very satisfying.
Who is that really creepy voice of a man? It's all because I betrayed her.
That voice is this man!
How did you betray her, Iris?
It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father, that's awful.
But I promised. I promised that I'd help her. And she didn't do it for the money.
Huh?
It was revenge on our father.
Revenge? What do you mean by revenge?
He was a hideous man. He threw her mother away and then sent her to hell.
Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
No fucking shit.
Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many businesses and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. But his plan backfired, because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of the Korean technique.
That would be Misty Fay, Maya's mother.
But before long, the credibility of the Korean tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive and that he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when you came here to Hasakura Temple?
Yes. The woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together.
You may have heard his vid.
That's an episode.
Oh, we will see you guys with Franziska next time, boys!